Luke's closing the door. Oh, I didn't think about it. I don't know if I cleaned. I hope it looks okay. Alright, we should be going. So I'm gonna, hold on, let me adjust you guys. Let me do this. This. It's gonna be hard. I'll have to turn Skype on and off because, oh, yeah. Sometimes I'm working as I'm on the stream because no one can usually see. Right. Uh-oh, what did I do? What is that? You guys are so much bigger than me now. Can you guys see it?
No, I'm watching the advert still.
Oh, that's the best part anyway.
I can see it. Oh god, my face is huge.
Oh yeah.
Here, I can maybe make it a little smaller. I was trying to plan for when Rich comes
Richard.
in. But
Richard.
There we go.
Oh cool, I like the banner at the top.
Yeah, I can look like I'm eating Luke's head.
It's the wrong way, it's my head. No.
Oh, it's the wrong way. You gotta get it like on a, I'm with stupid.
Yeah, I know, yeah. See, it's hard, it's the opposite way you want to point, you know? Like,
yeah. Chris plays games is hard.
Yeah, so
hey, Booty Dev, how you doing? Booty Dev.
Hey everyone who's joining, we're still in warm-up mode, but feel free to watch us be silly and ask questions.
Oh yeah, we can.
We'll get to them.
Hey Chris, high five.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh wait, hold on. I gotta. Is it this way? Hold on, wait, hold on. This is gonna be hard on the delay. On the delay. Wait, I gotta go like this though.
I don't know if that works.
Good to meet
I guess
you.
we'll find out in 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds we'll know. It's hard. Maybe I should use this hand. I should use my left hand. That'd be smarter than trying to. Yeah, nice one.
Wrong way.
No, I was right. Nice one.
Was it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you gotta use it. Hey, at the most, how you doing, man?
It'd be funny if I could like reach all the way over to Luke somehow. Like my hand comes across his screen. Yeah.
Brian would have to do the arm in between.
Nah, we love Latch. Latch can stream for as long as he wants.
Yeah, so for those of you joining us right now, still kind of warming up, but the show should be starting pretty soon. We're going to be pulling in Rich Davey from photonstorm. Should be really cool, so stay tuned for that. I'm chatting with him currently now, so probably be pulling him in not too long, so hang around. We're still working out, as you can see, this new video thing of trying to have everyone's beautiful faces on the show at the same time, so that's what we're doing.
I wish I could have the like Snapchat effects, where it's like you're like barfing rainbows and stuff.
Where you take pictures of your privates and
yeah, I think the what is it? The Google Hangouts lets you like put
put hats on people and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hangouts is fun.
That
you
would
can
be
you can get a pen and you can draw on other people's faces.
Oh geez.
But it's the technology is really good at like if you draw on someone's eyeballs, it'll stay with the eye. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we tried to have some engineering meetings over Google Hangouts.
Yeah, we tried
just
Yeah, we tried some company-wide stuff for a while there, and it didn't really go well. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Followbot 8675309 just got banned in Latch chat. Poor Followbot.
So, as you can see, we also have a new number here where we can see how many push-ups I actually have to do by the end of the show. So this is how many follows we've gotten during the show. And as you can see, I already have one to do. So we're trying this out. Usually Brian hides it from me, but we're going to try this time to see if I can watch the number. I can stay more confident.
And Lucas said he's going to do pull-ups for every follow.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
We've only got one so far, so you're good. And that must be a photonstorm phaser.
Yeah, so
with the follow.
Who's that?
Who could that possibly be?
Actually, here, I'm going to have to, this is the one thing I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to turn you guys off for a sec.
Yeah.
Boom. Sorry, you're gone. You don't exist. Wow. The feelings of godlike power course through my veins. I control whether people see you. No, but I have to Skype
Some photon storm phaser. He's probably some troll.
some troll. Ban him.
Some spam account. As always, let us know if the audio is good. If you're having video problems or anything, let us know.
Yep. Let us know if there's something we need to fix before we get started officially, so we can get that out of the way. Especially with the video. Let me turn the video on again, and everyone let me know if that's messing with anything. It seems pretty good on my side. Boom. We should do stuff like, is it delayed? Is it lagged? Can you see it? Is everything good? How is it? No. It's hard when I'm on a delay because I can't get like slapstick.
You can't do like the visual.
Visual slapstick does not work on a 10-second delay. It's like I act all crazy, then I think everyone thinks I'm stupid, and I start talking, and everyone laughs. I'm like, oh.
I'm gonna try.
All right. Well, Rich says he is ready to come on, and we have some people filtering in. So why don't we go ahead and start? Brian's starting.
I'm trying to.
It's not really working out. I don't know what you're trying to do, Brian, but it's not working out.
Trying to adjust the focus a little bit.
Okay. All right. Here, I might have to move this stuff around when I pull him in. Hold on. Let me turn that off for 1 sec. Pull him in.
Let me know if that's better at the most.
Okay. Let me just. I'm gonna do an official start. Let's do like a tweet, right? We'll do the social media thing, and then I'll pull him in. Alright, so let's do this real quick. Let's do this. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Just do it. Alright. What is Mr. Richard's handle? At photonstorm, that's easy.
I was gonna check my links because I always do something silly and typo, and everyone goes to the wrong link. All right, so let's see. That looks good. I'm going to send this, and then I'm going to do our intro because that's what everyone wants, and then we will pull in Rich. Done. Tweeted. Done. All right. Okay. So hey everybody, I'm Chris Hughes. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FGL. FGL is for those of you who don't know, I always like to tell, just in case there's new viewers, it's a kind of a community and marketplace for game developers. We have over 37,000 game developers that currently use us. We help them to monetize games, distribute games. Our latest thing that we talk about, our latest product, which is kind of what the show is named after, is Enhance. So what Enhance is the easiest way to get third-party services into a mobile app. So you can get ads, for example, into an app with no coding whatsoever. So it's something that we like to do on the show to kind of show off the new tech. But we also do questions and answers. So this is industry, game industry questions. If you want to talk to us, we've had over 10 years of experience in the game industry, helped developers make tens of millions of dollars. We'll be having Rich Davey on the show, who is the creator of Phaser, also goes by photonstorm, who obviously is a great developer in his own right, and we'll have lots of cool knowledge that we can pick his brain on. Also, what I'm going to try to do real quick is we've got a couple other people on that are usually here, but let's see if I can do this quickly enough. Oh, nope, that's wrong. That's wrong. Hold on. I failed already. There. Here they are.
Hey, Corpse, how you doing, man?
So we have Brian, who's our community manager, and you can actually see him and he can wave. Usually we don't have him on video, so you're lucky today.
I'll wave slowly because of my low-def camera.
The low-def camera's like, what just flew by your face, Brian? And then we have Luke, who's our head of engineering.
Hello.
and he's there as well. So these great guys are also here to answer questions and be entertaining and whatnot. So basically that's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions along the way, please in Twitch chat ask us questions. Also feel free to email us. info@fgl.com is a good way to do it. If you have any questions you want to kind of ask off the show. But if you have HTML5 questions in particular, today is a really good day. Let anyone you know who's into that know that we're going to be talking about that quite a bit, and PhotonStorm will be here. So get them in here. Oh, another thing that I usually forget, I actually remember this time, is on the show we have this thing where for every follower I'll do a push-up at the end of the show. In fact, I have a push-up count here. So this is how we already have one follower, so I'll have to do one push-up. As that number grows, I'll get more and more anxious and want to quit the show. But yeah, so feel free to follow and watch me do push-ups. Okay. There's also I always put it the wrong way. There's also that way a schedule of kind of roughly what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull Rich in right now. Let me do that. Give me 1 second because I'm going to do it through Skype, and then we'll kind of start. But feel free to ask questions, ahead of time. We'll get to them. So what I'm going to do is
We are starting a little bit early today. I noticed some people in chat were wondering about that. Our guest today is from
Hey, Rich. He's in now too, by the way.
Britland, I think it's called.
Hey, Rich. So Rich, I apologize. I already actually did your introduction. So hi.
Crumpettville.
So exactly, where are you in the UK, Rich?
Where am I? I'm kind of down on the southwest coast, so in the middle of a nice little forest, nice and quiet.
We've got most of our engineering team is in the UK, so I'm slowly getting more and more familiar with the area, because before you could have said any town, you could have made a town up, and I'd have been like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm from Wingdingshire.
Yeah. Oh, nice area.
I had the Twitch stream on in the background, but I didn't realize you're like, I don't know, 5 minutes ahead or something, can't you? It's like,
yeah, it's.
I was just like, what the hell? Who's talking to who?
Yeah, it's alright. It's really tough that in fact I was just making the comment that I sometimes try to do like slapstick comedy, and it's horrible because I have this like 10 to 15 second delay where I'm just sitting there waiting to see if it was funny. But,
okay, it's fine. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, so thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it. You and I and FGL and in general have worked together a long time, so it's great to kind of have you on here and maybe talk about old times and new times and so forth. I know we'll have a lot of questions about HTML5, so I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, sure, no worries. It's good to be invited. It's weird because obviously like FGO was like a massive part of my life for years, and then it kind of all sort of trailed off as I diversified elsewhere. So it's interesting to see what you guys have been up to a lot recently as well.
Yeah, totally. So
Rich, we actually have a question in chat for you from one of our viewers. Tomas asks, can you define HTML5 game quality and the scope of games that grabs publishers' attention?
That grabs publishers' attention. That's an interesting one. I guess it depends on the publisher to a huge degree, doesn't it? Exactly the same as with Flash. Yeah, it used to be like right back at the beginning. Quite frankly, you could have cranked out anything made in HTML5 and it would have sold. Now, bars up. People are producing stunning quality games, and obviously, it's publishers are expecting that as a result. There will always be the ground for like fun, small, little addictive games that aren't necessarily beautiful. But as with the way things progressed in terms of Flash back in the day, the really polished, more generic ones do just as well. So I would say that the games quality you need to be expecting to make good quality games even already, basically. the kind of like the peak gold period of like being able to produce anything is long gone now.
Yeah, I remember when the HTML5 first sort of burst onto the scene as far as a game platform. We were getting games that didn't have sound, had a couple moving images, and that was good enough, because it was so new. There were no sort of best practices yet.
I mean, back then you had devices that didn't have sound. It was like, what the hell? Why bother adding it to my game then? So yeah, that's unfortunately that's long gone now. You have to expect to be doing a good quality build, which is okay because the technology at least is relatively kept up with.
Yeah, and so Rich, so what exactly are you doing today? Like, what's your main focus? What kind of games are you building? Who are you building them for? Things like that.
Okay, so I guess my work's kind of split into two. So I basically most of my time is spent on phases, so working on that side of it. So basically working on the game framework itself. So dealing with adding new features to it, expanding it, keep on pushing it, and releasing plugins for it. So that takes up a huge amount of my time. And then the other half of my time is kind of split up in basically doing client work and publisher work. So building games for clients, and wherever you used to see kind of like I guess I know traditional web gaming on an agency level in the past, that's nearly all gone to HTML5 now. So the campaigns we're doing now are all the stuff that we were kind of doing 4 years ago in Flash, but it's just technology shifted underneath it. So yeah, I'd say that's how I divide my time up.
Yeah, and Phaser, I've been really impressed. I mean, it's blown up. I think I saw somewhere where it's like the #1 JavaScript tool on GitHub or something, and JavaScript's like the #1 language, so it's like it's really huge. It's awesome.
Yeah, for its sins. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's gone mental. It's gone absolutely mental, quite literally. It was created out of a need.
Sure.
There was a real. Just kind of like something had to exist, and there wasn't a great deal around at the time, and what there was basically just kind of little hobbyist projects, and so I was just like, right, no, something's got to be done about this, and so I released it, and that was just a few years ago, and it's gone absolutely mental. I mean, I see kind of like we'd do like sort of 2 million visits to the Phaser site this year already. It's that big.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I have to admit, so I'm cynical on like game frameworks or engines because, especially like back in the Flash day, there were like hundreds of them, right? Everyone was making their own engine, and it was the same thing, like where someone would start making their own games, so they'd have to build an engine to make it, and like, oh, well, I'll release it to everyone. But what you did awesome that the others that didn't do is the support and the continued growth of it. And I really think that's amazing what you've been able to build and kind of continue. And I don't know. I think you might know because I was in your forums for a while. But I built a game in Phaser and I loved it. I way back in the day. I used to build websites and I hated it. So I was thinking, man, why would you want to build a game using the same technologies? But Phaser really makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I mean, you're right. It was. I think the difference with Flash was that it did so much for you. Yeah. So you had you had like a rectangle class, a bitmap data. You had all that stuff there already, which you don't have on the other. In HTML5. So basically, a lot of Phaser is offering the kind of like the structure and the groundwork that Flash gave you for free, and then all the Flash frameworks kind of like on top of that just kind of put their own spin, didn't they? So there lots of helper classes and things to help with kind of object pooling and whatever. I mean, every kind of one had their own different way of doing it. Flix obviously was like one of my favorites back then because of the way it approached games. So then you've kind of got that as well, basically. So Phaser is kind of it's half kind of trying to do the bits that Flash was doing for you, and then half trying to do bits that Flash game frameworks were doing for you. And then it's still not, we're not completely there, obviously, because Flash did loads and had a, we never really hit that, but.
Sure, yeah, no, but especially for building for outside of Flash, like on the web and HTML5 in specific, it's awesome.
Thanks. I guess the key is we try and keep the web out of it as much as we can.
Sure. Well, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. I didn't feel like I was coding really for like I don't know that I'm trying to remember now. It's been a while, about a year, but I mean it wasn't like I was coding JavaScript, which was nice. I mean I was just using the framework, so that was great.
Yep.
OML TV has a question for Rich. Do you think releasing a game in HTML5 to validate the concept and build an audience before going to iOS or Android is a good idea?
Well, good question. I guess it depends on the game, doesn't it? It's because it depends on whether the audience for your game can be found on the web or or whether they, the kind of people that you would just mainly hit by going straight to native anyway. So in terms, I think there's two sides. So in terms of like producing something quick as like a good playable prototype to just check that the game works, yep, fine, sure, why not? To check that people enjoy it, again, yes, because it's easy. Send them a link, share it with your networks, share it with, get some audience and get some traffic to it, and see what people make of your game. And then at that point, I think what that's going to tell you though is whether or not you've got a good game. And then how that then survives on the App Store is down to the whim of the gods, really, isn't it? And any other sort of assistance that can be enabled by various services. So yeah, I think basically it's worth it, but I'm not going to say that it's basically it don't. I'm not saying that HTML5 is the solution for this. I think it's just making the game and testing it is the solution to that, really, isn't it? So
yeah,
how you want to do that?
Yeah, there's a movement lately to kind of go web first. It's kind of anti, mobile first of what you're used to hearing, and it's exactly what you said. Is that it's a lot easier to catch an audience on the web. Whether that's even Flash or HTML5. I mean, if you've got a web game. You can find an audience faster. Now, monetizing that game is a lot harder. But yeah. So what you're saying is that there's a lot of I think a lot of wisdom in it. In that if you can have a game, release it on the web, find out if you even have a good game because you've invested less time, you've invested a lot less resources and money in marketing it. If no one likes the game, you found your answer and you stop. If people love the game, you can build on it, iterate on it, and then move it to mobile. And that's a whole other question of how to do that. But you can wrap it, or you could rebuild it, or whatever. But yeah, I think it's a sound advice there.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely think that it's the audience, isn't it? Everything hinges about the audience, the type of people that are going to play your game, and I absolutely firmly believe that there is crossover obviously between web-based players and mobile players, but I do think that there are lots of mobile players that live on those devices exclusively. And just because you've got a successful web game doesn't mean it will translate to a successful mobile game, as I think lots of companies have found. Don't ask me any questions about how those markets work. I have no idea. I think if anyone does, they probably wouldn't be here with it. They'd be like on a yacht somewhere.
We have a good question from Wailu. I believe Wailu's following the channel. Rich, have you ever made any 3D games with HTML5? Can you recommend some cool 3D engines?
I've not made a 3D game, basically because all of the sort of the client work and all the publisher work that we do, they demand that it works on lowest common denominator, basically. So in order to do a 3D game, you need WebGL, and WebGL support has only really been prevalent very recently and still doesn't exist in a lot of old devices. Pick up an Android, hit the stock browser icon, which unfortunately is still the dominant one, and you have a subpar experience with no 3D. So no to that answer. But in terms of the amount of 3D engines out there is just phenomenal. They seem to new one seems to drop out the tree every week. So obviously there's Unity, isn't there? I mean, their WebGL export is still beta, it's still to be tested, but it's worth looking at. And I also think that the sort of the open source frameworks as well, like Babylon.js, are well worth looking at too, because they've got good support behind them, and the source code is nice and easy to read, and you just get in there and start playing. So yeah, there's lots of choice, but those would be the big ones.
I got a complaint that the mic looks weird hanging off my beard, so I'm trying to hide it.
I was telling him about that earlier.
I can't even see it.
I was telling him about that earlier. I was like, "Are you like braiding your beard now or something?" And
I've got the twigs and the leaves.
Yeah, it's like you were just like chopping down trees. Like I don't. Yeah.
It kind of looks like a cat's paw coming around.
Cat wrapped around him.
Something reaches from the screen. A couple of quick questions from people who may not be familiar with Phaser. Rich, do you know how many people use Phaser at the moment?
I can't tell you how many people use it because it's on GitHub, it's open source, anyone can grab it, so I don't have stats for like exactly how many people are using it, but I know from traffic to my site, emails, the amount of like stars we get on GitHub that it's tens of thousands, so lots of people. And I work with a lot of agencies that use it internally to do their sort of client work as well, so I couldn't give you a hard and fast number, but it's pretty substantial now.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying like on Twitter or something where you got contacted by someone saying, I want you to build this game for me. Are you familiar with Phaser?
I get that quite a lot.
Dude, that's funny. That's awesome. Like, I know it a little bit.
Yeah, 3 years Phaser experience.
I mean, how do you, it's funny. I bet that's a pretty easy conversion to a job, though, when you say, well, yeah, I built it. It's something you got over everyone else. So.
We have a quick question from user Gemfruit. Hey, Rich, do the updates that Chrome and Firefox bring hinder your roadmap for Phaser? And if so, are there any particular changes that you can remember that they made that really set you back?
Let's have a look. Think about it. They mostly they kind of like push things forward, but every now and again they do really interesting kind of curveballs that just really screw us around. Like, for example, like the Get Media API is the one that you use if you want to access like a webcam in your game, and they've recently said, right, okay, this is only going to work over SSL, so any game that was previously kind of like made to use a webcam for interaction, of which there are quite a few, or microphone, now suddenly just breaks if it's not running over a secure connection, which is fantastic. iOS 9, for example, completely broke the way that you unlock sound on a device when you touch it, and broke everything, broke every single HTML5 game framework out there, not just Phaser. So yeah, it's like there are absolute challenges, no doubt about it, and it's almost like a full-time occupation just staying on top of it. But at the same time, the amount of stuff that they're bringing in is almost as equally overwhelming, quite frankly. I mean, they turn like proper full musical notation score support and dynamic synths and all sorts of weird stuff that just like 2 years ago just didn't exist. So and the work that they're doing like internally on like the VR side of things is just like, I mean, it's a tiny niche market, but it's a market. So it's good to see it keep progressing, but at the same time it's kind of daunting too.
For those of you just joining us, this is the usual time that we kick off the show. Chris, do you want to do a round of introductions?
Yeah, sure. So hi everybody, I'm Chris Hughes. I'm the co-founder and CEO of FGL. On the call we have another FGLer, Brian, who's our community manager, and you can see his beautiful face there. We're doing video. So Rich, we usually don't do video for everyone, so we're trying that. And then we have Rich Davey, also known as photonstorm, who's a creator of Phaser and many fun games, both HTML and Flash alike, and he's there in the middle. So if you have any questions about Phaser, HTML5 in general, he'd be a great person to lob those at, and then game industry questions in general, we're here to help. So yeah, so if you're joining us, welcome. Be sure to ask questions in the Twitch chat, and we'll get to them.
We have a question from one of our loyal viewers, Tomas Balsis, that asks, how's Phaser 3 dev going?
Yeah, very well. So just to explain, at the moment, Phaser 2 is the current stable version. We're continuing to work on it and update it. And it's basically built on a renderer called Pixie, which sits under the hood and handles all of the like WebGL and Canvas rendering. But it was probably about 10 months ago now, we started work internally on our own renderer to replace it that basically just had really game-specific features that we needed, like proper multi-camera support and stuff. So we've been working on that for the last sort of 10, 11 months, and the render is getting in a really, really good state now. So we're looking for a release of that towards the end of this year, built into the Phaser 2 framework. So yeah, it's coming on quite well.
Yeah, so a slightly interesting story maybe. When I was the game that I built in Phaser, it was on Phaser 1, and you just switched to Phaser 2. And it was so funny because I was like, So I started. I was like, well, maybe I can like change some things. I ended up redoing the whole friggin' thing in Phaser 2, and but yeah.
We suffered from that a lot. I think it was for like a really rapid iteration was something that I was really keen on early because I was just ramming through releases, almost like a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where it reached such a, so many people were using that every time I released a new version that changed the API, everyone was just like, oh God, you just like, don't do this to me. It's as bad as using Unity. So basically, we don't do that anymore. We're very, very careful about when we do point releases and stable major releases. So yeah, Phaser 3 will be a big change. There's no doubt about it. We're making it completely modern, bringing it up to proper ES6 level with not proper classes, proper module support. So it will be a big change, but 2 is going to carry on in small iterations for the foreseeable future anyway, because there are lots of big apps running on it now.
Also, just so you know, in the background, I have your photonstorm site up. But let me know if you'd rather me show off anything else or a game or anything. It's just kind of there floating around, just FYI. But
We do have a segment where Chris tries to play games and
Yes.
fails horribly at it. So that could be pretty
yeah.
nice.
So usually what I usually yeah, well, I could do that. I could load up something on my phone. Usually, what I do is we'll like enhance something, and then I will play it to show how it was enhanced. But in so doing, I'm using my camera, and everything's backwards, so it's funny. Real quick, actually, so I'll go to the FGL site here. I might have to hide you guys real quick, but I think this is a little known fact people don't know. Is hold on, sorry, I'm gonna hide you guys real quick just so I can show this off.
I don't want to die.
I'm gonna move me too. So we actually have a little HTML5 game on here. Let me see if you can see that. This was something we had big ideas for, but is just simple and stupid. But yeah, if you're ever on the FGL site, you can just scroll down one, and there's like a little game here. And what I like about it is the guy can actually like fall down through the text and everything, Like, so I always find myself trying to do like hack it somehow, like see if I can like jump all the way and back. But anyway, it's silly. But it's something that I realize not a lot of people know about.
Unlock the minigame within the minigame.
Yeah, well, we had all these plans for it to like actually because there's a chest. When you get to the chest, it would like unlock secret text or something. But we realized we were spending too much time on that. We should focus on like helping people make money on their games. So we just kind of left it here.
Complete the level to get a bid on your game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Luke, who had to step away for a minute, he was on the call too, but he built this. So anyway, that's cool. I'll go back to Phaser or Photonstorm. There you go.
Well, I did want to give a really quick shout out to Art Moogle and Mightiest Hero. They followed us while we were offline. I want to give them their due. So thanks for following the channel, you guys. Thanks for helping game dev grow here on Twitch, and we'll make sure to get your push-ups in. I don't know if Rich is going to join us for push-ups. We had requests on FGL chat that Rich join us with our
that's up to him.
push-up endeavors.
That's the guest prerogative. We've had one take us up on it so far, but yeah, if we stick to one, I don't think it's going to be tough. Or I guess that's three. Oh, we got another one. Thanks. Yeah, by the way, that's probably a good time to mention that I do a push-up for every follow. So you can see here we've gotten, I guess we've gotten 3. This is a little misleading, and now we got another one. So I'm gonna have to do 4 so far, but that's simple. I had that Rich one time. We had 96 followers. So I pretty much I did not do it for one.
You did not.
But I almost died for 2. I had to crawl back to the chair. It was pretty bad.
Krenin, thanks for following the channel. Thanks for helping Game Dev grow here on Twitch. We do have a question for Mr. Rich Davey. Whenever people ask for game engines to use your Phaser engine, it's always mentioned, and obviously it's very popular. How does it feel to be the HTML5 rock star?
What?
What are the groupies like?
Yeah, I know. So
are you going on tour soon? Is this part of your album release party?
I don't know. It's just a technology, isn't it? I mean, come on. Can't get too religious.
And when does
I guess you can, but
when does your movie come out? And
what was it like working with Jack Black?
He was only into HTML4.
Yeah, he's a jackass.
No, it's good to be recognised for what you do, but quite frankly, it's just like it was just something. It's just something that's just happened rather than something that was calculated. So it's still a bit of a mystery, quite frankly.
Corpse asks, "Are you working on the next Interphase magazine yet?"
Yeah, so we released Interphase 1 about a month ago now. Basically, it's it's not a mag. We called it a magazine originally, and then it turned out to be like 400 pages long, so it's kind of slightly more of a book, really. And yeah, so it's basically just full of lots of different sort of games and all phases stuff and tutorials for people to learn on. And so it has been doing really well. We've been really pleased with the uptake on it. I've actually got a printed copy over there, so I might grab it in a second. But basically, yeah. So the second one we've just basically released another product onto the site today, which is like a Particles plugin called ParticleStorm, and now that's done, we'll look at going back to Interphase 2. And then the third one, which is going to be like a RPG specific one, so basically I had to do kind of RPG games.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I just realized something. So first of all, someone else followed us. Thank you. I didn't catch the name, but
Der Boosbauer.
but I realized something,
That's German for the Boosbauer.
and
Thank
I
you for
promise.
following the channel.
I promise, Rich. And I apologize. I didn't intend this to happen, but so we have a graphic that was made by a genius artist. Well, me, but in about 10 minutes, a stick figure guy who does push-ups every time we get a follower. But I looked over and I saw that he's humping your head whenever it comes. So I apologize. You're sitting there talking. I'm watching this guy like do push-ups on your head, but see, let's see, look there.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
Hey,
move
it's more
Brian
incentive
over.
for follows.
Maybe
Yeah.
I should shift Brian over. It's probably not good to do to guess on the show.
Rich, are you on Twitch yet? Do you stream anything? Because we can get you a follower notification where it's just a guy that holds up a sign that says "Screw FGL." on it.
Yeah, I know. Like, those guys.
FGL humped my head. No, it's,
Yeah, you do get a
Great,
T-shirt.
that's
at
a
the
great
end of this.
testimonial. We should put that on the site.
and then paid me off with $100. No, to be honest, I don't actually. No, I don't stream anything on Twitch. Mostly, I have
busy
enough things
working.
to do without taking on any more obligations.
Twitch chat user asks, "What are your thoughts about HTML5 game monetization? What's possible right now?"
Monetization. It's the same basically. So there's basically the kind of like the publisher side of things. So selling a game for a straight amount of money, standard sponsorship route. And there are still companies out there that do still buy games and buy licenses for games. And I can see quite a few people in the Twitch chat that I know that sell games to portals like that. It's slightly different in the sense that there are lots of. It's not all web-based. I know that sounds a bit strange, but basically they're not all necessarily websites, right? So there are quite a lot of telecoms companies out there that maintain their own games portals that are like specific for their customers on their handsets. So you kind of like, you pick up one of their phones and you hit a games icon and it launches a website with games that they've curated or bought in from various partners, which you don't get to, you won't just be like browsing around on Google and find them. So things have changed. They've diversified a bit. Not everything is straight web based. So yeah, there's definitely selling games to them. In terms of sort of like in-app purchases and stuff, it's not massively taken off. I mean, if there are some guys out there with experience of having done well from it, then it'd be good to hear from them. But I don't know of any personally. So I'm pretty sure that money is pretty much just straight in work for hire, client-based stuff, agency-based stuff, than selling publishing games, and producing and adverts as well. That's becoming quite a huge one now as well.
Yeah. So I mean, as you know, we do a lot of HTML5 ourselves. I mean, we did a big push about a year ago to support it heavily. Some of that we've pulled back on, but we still support, licensing, sponsorship, so forth, and I mean, every week we have people going in and getting games. It's still to today less than Flash, which is kind of surprising. Like we personally don't care. Like we support whatever, but there's still more people investing in Flash than HTML5 on that front. Though what is funny is, so every time I'll go out to conferences and meet with like portals and whatnot, and I'll give like a hard example, like Yahoo's a big portal, and they're always telling me I want HTML5, I want HTML5, like we're wanting to kind of like transition or at least hedge bets, right? And we'll show them all these HTML5 games and they pass on all of them, and they'll take the Flash games, and the only thing that I can think is it's just like a tiny bit of difference in the quality, that the Flash game on web is going to be better if you invest the same amount of time as an HTML5 game currently, as far as like optimization and what you're going to get out of it and so forth. You kind of feel the same way? I mean, is that getting closer at least to parity, or?
I think the workflow, isn't it? It's all down to workflow, right? So the Flash workflow is honed and pretty perfect, quite frankly. You've got designers and developers and animators all working within one tool. So it's always going to be faster to create something when you're in that kind of environment with, so many resources and stuff around you. So yeah, I think without a shadow of a doubt that workflow is there. But in terms of, I mean, I've seen some like phenomenal quality games that equally easily equal what, the peak of the Flash creations out there. So I think in terms of parity and what can be built, we're there absolutely. In terms of how long it takes to build it, it's probably still faster in Flash. And why Portal would buy a Flash game instead of an HTML5 one, that's something for you guys to figure out. Really, I mean, it's almost like I'm not. That doesn't really bother me necessarily. I think a lot of I think if you're making games for the web, the way in which things have changed recently in terms of Chrome killing off the Unity plugin and stuff like that, and the Flash plugin will go. It's basically that is how you make games for the web now, but it doesn't mean that's the only way to make games. So it's still easy to create in whatever you want and publish to whatever platforms you want, which is, we're in a whole different world now to where we were like 4 or 5 years ago, aren't we, really, in terms of where you can actually export your games to.
Sure.
Chat asks, are there any methods for DRM in HTML5 games to protect from piracy or encryption?
Sure, not specifically. There are sites like jscrambler.com which will take your code and make such a mess of it that it's impossible to figure it out. But that doesn't protect any of the assets, for example, which is still still streamed in over pretty much an open network connection. So anyone can sit there and hoik your sounds or your graphic files out if they want to. But quite frankly, it was trivial to do in Flash as well. So in terms of the code, you can hide it, but you can't. It's not perfect. I think when we start seeing technologies like WebAssembly arrive, then you'll start seeing proper third-party apps that take your game code and turn it into something that's just completely, properly, fully protected. And it would be nice to see the browsers implement. I mean, I say nice because DRM's horrendous, but at the same time, it's one of those necessary evils to get certain other larger organizations on board, and so it would be nice to see that become properly native in browser, but we're not there yet.
And do you think that's something that is requested? I mean, the clients that you have, do they ask for that? I mean, I know on the publisher side, it's not that big a deal. They don't really care if it's encrypted at this point because they're still trying to just get viewers to the game and so forth.
Yeah, sure. So, no, I don't think I've ever had a requirement where someone has said, right, make sure that this game is unhackable. Yeah. No, I think most people understand, it's written in JavaScript, it's running on the web. You can get much more open if you, tried, really, so...
Yeah, because we actually early on built a system that was going to solve all those problems. It would wrap it into a single file. It would encrypt even the assets. And in fact, Luke, again, he built a lot of that out, and we just stopped because there was no real need for it. We're like, well, maybe at some point there will be, but we kind of stopped it. So that's something that we found out.
Yeah, because I think originally it was the trying to reclaim the ability for Flash to be like a single Swift file
and
then spread the viralness, right, which is gone basically. There is no viralness really with a HTML5 game other than sharing the URL. It's still on a site. So I think that definitely early on I saw spoke with a couple of companies trying to address that, and they never managed it. And I think partly because things have changed, things have moved on since the Portal days. So
yep. Yeah,
I want to thank Wailu and the Real Shooter MG. Thanks for following the channel, and thanks for helping game dev grow here on Twitch. We'll get to your push-ups at the end of the show, guys. So I think Rich wants to be long gone by the time we start doing push-ups.
and by the way, Rich, so you are welcome to stay as long as you want or take off whenever you want. We don't have a set time bucket for you, but as long as you want to stay on, feel free. So thank you again.
Okay.
But and for everyone, if you've joined us recently, so we are talking to Rich Davey, who's also known as photonstorm, creator of Phaser. So if you have any questions for him, feel free to ask him in Twitch chat, and we'll get it to him. Cool. Are there any other questions?
Real quick, Fat Cat the Brat. Thanks for not punctuating your name at all, but thanks for following the channel and helping game dev grow here on Twitch.
And humping Rich's head again.
We have a question about mobile. Will Rich ever try out PhoneGap with Phaser game and use Enhance?
Great question. I was asking him earlier about that, actually. Great question.
Yeah, well, you were like, have you got an APK? I can just currently just wrap on the show. I don't. I haven't. I have never made. Right, I have never made a native app in HTML5. I've gone through the motions in terms of like taking phaser examples and making sure that it works with like Cocoon and Finger, but that is it. I still kind of. It's partly because I've never had a request to do it from a client, so I've never been monetarily incentivized to do it. And B, if I wanted to make a native mobile app, I would probably, to be perfectly honest, use Unity. So it's something that I know lots of guys are doing it though, so it is something that I probably ought to spend some time investigating. But at the same time, give me a TARDIS perhaps, and I might be able to extend my days. But quite frankly, at the moment, it's hard enough getting to bed before 4. Never mind actually spending time to try all these hundreds of different technologies as well. But it's something that we were very cautious and concerned very early on when we started building the Phaser 3 renderer that it has to work properly with Cordova. So we have been testing it out, but I don't know. I still haven't released a proper game on mobile yet.
Yeah, and
so if anyone has, good luck.
Yeah, well, and I do think that are actually really close with Enhance to work with interstitials with a Phaser plugin. So there will be that support. So. For those of you who don't know, Enhance is the system to basically get third-party services into a mobile app, so a lot of times with no coding whatsoever. So already with Phaser, if you were to wrap it in somehow to an APK, it would already work, like for like post-roll ads and so forth. But if one of the major requests we always get is I want interstitial ads to call wherever I want in the game. So that's something we have support for on I think it's like 6 or 7 technologies, and Phaser will be one pretty soon. So people can try it out, and I would love for people to send me any games that you have that you've done that with. So
going back to a previous user's question about monetization, that could be an avenue to explore once that's released. We do have a couple other questions in Twitch chat. Thanks for the great questions, everybody. Really high level questions. Ultima asks, Rich, what inspired you to make Phaser? I know you touched on this at the very top of the show, but maybe give us the recap on that.
Yeah, sure. So I guess it was a combination of kind of like just frustration and need, really. So I literally I remember it quite well. I mean, it's like I had a free weekend. The family were away, so I basically just sat down. I thought, right, sod it. I'm literally just going to port Flixel to JavaScript, like pretty much line for line. I literally recreated the entire thing and did it in kind of like a week. And I sat down and looked at it. I thought, oh, this is quite nice, really. So I just it was just an experiment, really. And I knew that I wanted something myself that I could use and expand on for the work that I was doing. So that's where it started from. And I thought, I'll just stick it on GitHub, see what happens. And then someone starts using it, and then someone sends me a link saying, "Oh, I've made this game," and it's like, "You did what?" Even I haven't made a game in a year. And then it just started, and people were saying, "Well, how about this? Here's a pull request. Here's add a feature and fix this," and it basically snowballed from there, really. So I would say that the inspiration from it literally came from Flash, as in terms not necessarily the inspiration for like the API, but in the inspiration for wanting to make game development easy. It's because Flash made game development easy for us, didn't it? So I wanted the same parity in HTML5. So that was kind of the reason for it coming out in the first place. And I wanted Flix on HTML5 as well. So I built it. It's as simple as that. If the tools don't exist to make them.
Cool.
And of course, with any developer AMA, somebody has chimed in with a bug report on the newest version of your software. Apparently,
if anyone would like to tell Rich how to do it better, go ahead.
Yeah. One of our own engineers has linked to a thread there in the chat. Maybe you can check that out after.
Yeah, the iterations between 207 and T3, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we must have gone through like 3 or 4 different versions of Pixie between those 2 versions, like significant internal changes. And which were completely out of our control. We either had to basically match Pixie in terms of release rates and keep integrating it, or just kind of like get stuck with it. So that thread is a very good reason as to why we've been spending nearly a year now building our own renderer, so we're not beholden to anything else. So we basically just have to deal with browser quirks, and that's it. We don't have to worry about what has happened because of an internal change to the renderer. So I'll have a look at the thread anyway, but it's quite frankly, from the subject of it alone, it seems like a good indication as to why we're actually doing what we're doing at the moment.
So one of our users in chat noticed that you pretty consistently use this cool bird avatar, this blue toucan. Is there a backstory on that?
It's not drawn by me. I work with a guy called Ilya, who basically does all the phenomenal pixel art that you see in Interface and across all our site. And he designed the kind of the Phaser logo and the mascots and everything. And he basically, the very, very first time we ever talked together, he sent me this little kind of it was just like a sprite sheet, a tiny little sprite sheet, and had this little blue bird in it, and that was it. We just adopted it from that point on, and we've used it ever since. That was probably 6 years ago now, something ridiculous.
Spoke to you on a spiritual level, huh?
And so now we use it for everything just because it's just cute, really.
Have you named it?
It's called Bird, as in B-U-R-D.
Oh, bird the bird. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Nice.
We were having a contest earlier. What to name the little stick figure guy?
Oh, jeez.
I guess we've got to throw Humpy into the mix now.
Humpy.
Push-up.
Push-up.
The push-up guy.
But with an I. Push-up. One thing I wanted to mention, Rich, is I noticed, I'm scrolling down your webpage here, you still have us on here as flashgamelicense.com.
Wow,
So
you're always going to be Flash Game License, sorry.
So if we're going to point out problems, we've been FGL now for 4 years. But. Although I will say the link still works. I clicked it and it goes right to your games. Or maybe I can even do that.
Does it really?
Yeah, here it is. Actually, this is your account. Yeah, and there's all your games. That's cool. So if anyone out there wants to sponsor us old Flash games,
So some very old Flash games.
I think we still send you checks once in a while from Yahoo and stuff, huh? So.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah. So if you get around to that, FGL is the current name. But.
So I know that the second we wrap up the interview and we end the call, we're going to get 100 HTML5 questions for you. So if anybody has questions for you, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Probably several ways. So if it's a nice, short, quick, focused question, then hit me on Twitter because I kind of check it all the time, and I can usually get back to you on there. If it needs you to post up code examples or something, then post it on the forum, but then still tell me about it on Twitter because the forum is insane. There's so many hundreds of posts on there. There's no way I read them. I don't read them all. Okay, so you absolutely have to make me aware of something if you want me to read it. But if it's a bug in Phaser specifically, then it needs to go on GitHub as an issue because it's not just me who works on Phaser. There's lots of us, so it's highly likely it could be fixed by someone else before I even get a chance to read it. So I would say basically Twitter, email if you're a bit insane, forum, and stick it on GitHub.
Well, and I think that's a good point. Phaser has a huge community, and that's one thing that we've learned with having a community ourselves is sometimes they're better at answering the question, or faster, if anything, and so
crowdsourced answers.
Yeah, so I think that's great, and in fact, that's what I did when I was really into Phaser and building my game. Is I found it a great resource because I was trying to bug you for a while too, Rich. I was like, I got a direct connection, but then I just go to the forums and
Skype softline.
Yeah, exactly. But then, the forums are great. So that's another great resource for people with Phaser is that there's a lot of support. That's really a big thing with a lot of different technologies. That's not something that you have the benefit of. So. Yeah,
no, I agree. It has an amazing community. I guess probably the biggest issue it has is not necessarily Phaser related, but just HTML5 related. Is there's so many things that can go wrong that you might be literally the only person in the entire world that's experienced it. So you can post on the forum and then you might just be tumbleweed. So if it's something urgent or I don't know, client demanding, then get in touch basically and we can help out.
We do have another question from a game developer. Yes. Rich, do you have a Patreon to help build out Phaser? Do you have a
Yes,
way for
indeed.
developers to support you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we set up a Patreon probably about a few months ago now, maybe even less. My brain's getting a bit hazy. But basically, yeah, if you go and have a look on there, it's you can see there are various. It's a monthly sub based one, so it's kind of it's really focused on companies and people that make income from Phaser but I mean, obviously we're happily to have any sort of like patron that who wants to support the project as a whole. But I would say that kind of some of the top tiers really are aimed at the companies that earn good money from it, of which I know there are quite a few. So yeah, absolutely have a if you want to, by all means, please support us on Patreon. And then there's a few updates you can see on there. I posted one today actually about the new product. So there are various things. So like the various tiers relate to how much kind of like money you can get off the products we release and how quickly you want to see us do things like releasing free books and examples.
Yeah, Chris, you want to pull that up real quick?
Yeah, I was looking for it. You have it hidden a little deep, but I found it here. So there's the Patreon anyway. So which I guess you could just go to Patreon and search for it. But
yeah, we're on the homepage at the moment for some reason.
Oh wow, okay. Well, there you go.
Somewhere,
That's great.
somewhere right underneath being hacked.
Really, I'm gonna go to the front page. Let's see.
Oh, those stretch goals look awesome. Those are ambitious.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, nice. There you are. Front page of Patreon. Nice one.
And no, I don't have your passwords, by the way.
So you said you just set up Patreon recently. What's your experience been with it?
It's been. I was quite shocked, to be honest. It happened because I was getting people asking in the forum saying, how can I? Do you want to stick a PayPal donate button on your website, or, I'm happy to kind of like contribute towards Phaser, and I was just kind of like, well, it's always slightly sort of. I've always felt a bit funny about just like taking money for doing nothing. I mean, it's like it's my choice to put this out there for free. I don't expect people to have to support that. So I thought, right, well, how can we do this whereby there's some active, you can actually see what we're going to spend the money on in terms of like, basically building like bone-based support into it or releasing free books or whatever. So yeah, it was the popular thing at the time, wasn't it? It was the Patreon. So fine, let's try it and see what happens if we get $5 a month, and great. And it kind of went from there, really. So it's been good.
That's great. Yeah, and I like how you did it. Like I'm reading it a little bit, and you're saying like, I'm going to do this regardless. So this is just going to add extra. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. I mean, it's a labor of love, and it's a commercial interest in terms of my company, but there's no doubt about it that the money that comes in from that absolutely accelerates the speed at which we can do things. So.
It sort of reminds me of the game dev streaming here on Twitch. A lot of high-level game dev streamers will, they'll get donations or subscriptions, and they'll put 100% of that money toward requested features. Like you can donate requesting some feature get into your game. It's a very, very cool way of funding projects that people are passionate about.
Yeah.
And the site looks really nice. Very cool. All right, so any other questions, go ahead and get them in chat. Otherwise, we might let Rich get back to building out Phaser for your entertainment here.
Oh, and Luke's back. Luke, you missed. I was talking you up a little bit. But,
Oh yeah.
But you missed it.
Yeah, I had stuff to fix.
They had to fix some things. Get back to work. Why are you here? Get back to work. So Luke's our head of engineering. So
yeah, Luke's report was everything broke this week.
Yeah, that was
I'm blaming it on this solar flare. That's what caused it.
Solar flare.
Yeah, it was nothing to do with me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that at all.
It was the blood moon, right? That's
right. Yeah, the eclipse. All of it. It all did it.
Yeah. Everything combined.
But so
the
anyone
game dev days.
Anyone just joining us? So we do have Rich Davey. We're probably gonna let him go pretty soon here. He's also known as photonstorm, creator of Phaser. If you have any HTML5 questions, now is a really great time to ask it, so that he can answer it before he goes away. That way. Like what I really like, Rich, and I was saying this in our last one, I was telling people you were going to be coming, is I like that you have a very unique perspective on it as well. Like people ask us questions all the time, and I have answers, but it's obviously from the point of view of of kind of like a developer trying to kind of like go on their own to license a game out and make money on their own. And not so much on the building side of it, and not so much, and definitely not so much on the like what I really like, and because I follow you on Twitter and so forth, and I like seeing how the commercial aspect of it is. I mean, that's like the definitive to me. It's like it's growing. Everyone's ditching Flash in that area, so that's got to culminate at some point.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But it's weird because I kind of like there's the side of me that's basically kind of like we still do build games for clients, and there's the other side of me that basically really wants everything to run solely 100% phaser driven. So like
Sure.
I want the sale of plugins and Patreon and everything to all mount up to be enough to be doing it full time. So that's kind of the direction I'm heading in, which is quite an exciting one, and it's a nice sort of new chapter, as it were. But the amount of games I've seen people releasing is just stunning. They're just like, it's just incredible. And the quality of them is just shocking. I mean,
Yes.
on the bottom of the Phaser homepage, if you go to the news section, there's like a games category, but at the very bottom of the homepage, there's kind of like a scroller, and that's kind of where we stick in all of the featured games, basically. And some of the stuff people are making, like the Iron Maiden game that was released recently, that was used in like their new music video, was just kind of like, wow, yeah, I was just like, when things like that happen, it's just kind of like, wow, someone actually used Phaser to build a game for an Iron Maiden video. So, turn the internet off, go home. The world's over.
Yeah,
it's just
Done.
we did it. You can sort
we
of
did
pack
it.
up people,
Goodbye. So it's really nice to see things like that happen, but it's good.
That's pretty good that you can get from Phaser to Iron Maiden in one step.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Kevin
Was it
Bacon
7
game
Degrees of
is kind of
Kevin Bacon?
nice. Yeah, yeah. Kevin Bacon's not far from that one. I'm sure he's done
Yeah.
some with Iron Maiden.
But I did have a question for you guys actually, in that
Yeah.
what has been happening in terms of like, because you've got quite a unique perspective on it in terms of the Flash community, because obviously I see everything that's going on in the HTML5 side of things because it's where I live, but I really don't, and I see people coming in from Flash, but I'm not entirely sure what's happening to kind of like I guess all the Flash developers, of which there were thousands, weren't there? I mean, literally thousands, like back in the
hundreds of
day.
thousands,
Yeah. So, what are they? Are they still at it? Have they moved to native apps? Are they? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just quite curious what you guys were doing.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, so this is something that we talk about a lot too in the show, which is at this moment in time we're in a really exciting yet scary time. It's like a transitional time for games. Like so, the one I always talk about is I went like the last GDC I went to. It was the first time in a long time where there was no message that everyone had. It wasn't like Facebook social, right? It wasn't mobile. It wasn't, it was a little bit of everything. It's like you had some console, you had some the new ones are like the VR, AR, you had mobile. And so no one really knows where all of this is going to kind of culminate, if it even is, to the one big thing. And so we kind of seen the same thing with Flash developers. I mean, we have some going off to make like Steam games. There's some that are making, a lot of them are still trying to make Flash games. We've got a lot that are doing HTML5. Like we still do a lot with HTML5. I mean, it's a big reason why we're FGL and not Flash Game Licenses. In fact, I think right now for the amount of money we make developers, like that amount of revenue, I think like 2/3 of that is mobile right now. So almost all the money that we're making developers now is in mobile. So so that's where a lot of them are going, and it's a little bit of an easier leap as far as content creation. I mean, you're still making simpler games that are fun, monetized. So that makes it a little bit easier to that transition. We had the huge HTML5 push, and I mean, I'll be honest, we made overall amongst all the developers we work with, like $1 million or $2 million for them. So it was a success on some level. It was no long tail to it. So that's why we kind of simplified that to be like, all right, if you want to make an HTML5 game, we're going to stick to kind of like the licensing model because all the other models just weren't working. I think that'll come around though. Like all the things that you talked about, and just the way things are going, eventually. I mean, whether it's a drastic thing, which I don't really think it will be, but it could be, of browsers saying no more plugins, or a more probable slow death of just everyone's slowly hedging their bets, and eventually, why wouldn't you make it in HTML5? And the things that you talked about were exactly right. Here's the big thing. If it were just as easy, just as fast, just as efficient to make an HTML5 game versus a Flash game, I think it would change the game today. That's the only real hindrance. So that'll happen. So yeah, so we still work with, a lot of developers that are doing Flash and mobile, and we're seeing some that are doing both. It's really popular now to make a game, that works both on the web and mobile, and sometimes getting a publisher for both. So yeah, it's kind of, there's no like real simple one answer. Like when someone asks me these days, how should I make money in game development? Like I used to have an answer, it'd be really easy. Now it's like, I always have to start like at the broadest level. You have to decide where you want to go. Do you want to be mobile? Do you want to be, what's your focus? And then at that point we can have more specific answers. All right, you want to make a casual mobile game. Now I can tell you how to make money. If you want to make a, a browser-based, HTML5, mobile web game, like, okay, we can do that. Yeah, so that's where it's actually a little bit challenging right now. If you're starting out from nothing, where you go. So yeah, we still have tens of thousands of developers using us. A lot of them are doing mobile, a lot of them are doing Flash. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, that sounds like what I'd heard. A lot of guys obviously. The mobile's natural, isn't it? It's kind of like now you can easily get from Flash to mobile and wrap it all up and make the money. Well, hopefully make the money from it. It kind of makes sense as a natural move, doesn't it? It's just it was just curious because obviously you see kind of like the trends in like gaming portals as a destination is obviously shifting and becoming much more like, and yet. So you kind of see the drop off in those areas, but at the same time you see increases in sites like Game Jolt and Itch, and which are like really massively community focused sites, aren't they? And it's just they're just these weird hundreds of tiny little genre holes everywhere that just people seem to like. Lots of developers kind of like sort of settle in and make a nice little living from or whatever.
Yeah.
I was chatting to a guy the other day that runs a website that's got nothing but a solitaire game on it. It's a really, really good solitaire game that he made in HTML5, but he lives off of the income it generates him, and it's just like, there must be lots and lots of these tiny little pockets all over the place, I guess. But obviously finding one is the key, I reckon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think whenever there's change, there's opportunity on both levels. Because, so for example, like you probably remember, like maybe 3-4 years ago, when like the Facebook craze, like that was it, right?
Yeah.
Facebook games were making hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was crazy. And now, like, no one wants to touch that. But it's funny that there are groups of people who are making lots and lots of money because everyone left it. But there's still a billion people there, So, so they're like you're saying, there's like this really niche area that they're a part of and kind of capitalizing on, and it also goes to kind of like the whole web first part we talked about, which is a lot of people just learn from that area, then move to mobile, to make the big push. So yeah, there's lots going on.
And I guess it's carrying on, isn't it? You've got like I don't know, smartwatches, you've got smarter TVs. It's just kind of like you got VR stuff. It's just almost kind of a never-ending barrage of technology, really.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's exciting about games in particular is that I actually did like a panel on this at a Comic-Con, actually, so it was more consumer-faced, and it was fun to talk about that from a gaming perspective. All these different technologies, like hardware technologies that are coming out, they're looking to games as like their first opportunity to push it, which is funny to me. So I went to like a Samsung conference, and they make they make thermostats and washers and dryers, and it's so funny they want games on all of them. I'm like, a thermostat that has a game, like, okay, like
I would play the heck out of a washing machine game though.
Yeah, I know.
Like when as a kid, like you see the laundry going around in the washing machine. If there was a game for that,
yeah.
I'd be all about it. Finding the missing sock MMO.
Yeah. Well, and like refrigerators, and because they have screens on them now, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And And so, but to me, I don't think anyone's going to be commercially successful from those. I mean, from the game itself. I can see why the hardware manufacturers want that on there because it's an added feature. But it's also but it is kind of exciting that that's what they're thinking of. You know, no one. I've not talked to anyone who's like, we don't want any games on this platform. You know, they're usually like, yeah, if you can think of a
Yeah.
game, I want it on here. So all that's exciting. I mean, I think the big one that people are waiting to see is, you know, does VR, AR take off? You know. But beyond that, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, well, you've got mobile where you can be extremely successful, but it's like really hard to do it, you know. And then you've got web, which is kind of the opposite. You know, it's like, well, it's a little bit easier, but you're not going to go, you know, all the way. You know, you're not going to make $1 million a day.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, but realistically, you know, you're not going to. So
Yeah, no,
So-
absolutely. It's just, it's platform, isn't it? It's just platform diversity's gone insane.
Yes.
But I guess it's a good in a way as well.
Well-
I mean, I talked to some Japanese developers the other day that have got phaser games running on a robot.
Oh, wow.
And so you have this like robot running around trade shows with a screen on its tummy. You can like play games against it, and it like.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I will say, and to me, that's what's exciting about HTML5 in general is that whenever these like newer technologies come out, they have to pick kind of like a base language to run things on, and you know, HTML5 is the obvious choice. You know, I mean, because you could do Android, but then it's kind of proprietary-ish, you know, and you're beholden to a company, whereas HTML5 is just kind of like out there. It's like I don't have to depend on anyone, you know, for that. Like I can just run it, and so that's what's exciting about it. And in fact, like I did at Casual Connect, I did an entire talk on this. That we have people coming to us still, where they're like, they'll have this weird thing. They're like, okay, I do kiosks in airports, and people can play games on them, and we run HTML5. You know, like, can you get me games? Like that's cool. You know, like so all these different new things coming out. It's nice that they're seeming to at least support, if not default to, you know, running, you know, supporting HTML5 as the you know the thing to run on their platform, you know, to run you know, games and apps and so forth. So I keep waiting for that to take off too. That we get a lot of interest, but it's not a lot of people who have success yet.
Yeah.
And so when that happens, I think it'll be a big deal. And I mean, on top of that, I mean, I see like, you know, tablets and like restaurants and stuff, and they're running on an Android, I can tell, but there's no reason why they couldn't run in a web view, you know, games, you know, from HTML5. So yeah, so I mean, to me, that's why I still am very, you know, excited about the future of it, and why I keep hoping for like that tipping point, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure there will be ever be a huge tipping point. I think it would just be lots and lots of tiny little steps, and eventually it would just be at that point where it just, it's just accepted as the normal, as it were. But then there are so many different ways to. I think I do really quite believe that, you know, the getting a game created in HTML5 is almost like trivial these days now, really, in terms of what you can use. I mean, getting Flash exports to it even now, use Haxi to export to it. There's loads of different ways, so you don't even ever have to touch a line of JavaScript. You can still be making HTML5 games. I guess it will just then comes down to the business decision as to whether or not there's money to be made in doing it. So, I mean, that's always something that's always going to shift, isn't it, with consumer trends and developer trends.
And that's that's the biggest hurdle right now. In that, in fact, so we track this data over. I mean, it's only over 2 years, but you know, the usage of apps versus, you know, like a web browser. And it's like 80% of people don't even touch their web browser, except for like, you know, silly things that they have to. And that never changed. Like over like two plus years, that was the big thing. And now you've got Apple, who basically wants everyone to. I mean, they want to turn TV into apps, right? I mean, they want the apps to be the ecosystem of all, you know, consumable, you know, media. So so that's like, to me, the biggest challenge to an HTML5. As far I should see, and it's funny, I fall into the trap I sometimes get into other people as I refer to like very generally, like, right, HTML5, like what does that mean? But more like, you know, mobile web type adoption of content, you know, made with, you know, HTML5 is what I mean by that, you know, because you're right, because you could make it in hacks and just port it whatever the hell you want, you know, and you port to HTML5 if that's where you want to hit those things, but more like, to me, the exciting thing about HTML5 is that ability to access, you know, anywhere. Like, that's the cool part.
Morklov asks in chat, are there any good debugging tools for HTML5? He mentions IntelliJ and Eclipse.
IntelliJ and Eclipse are kind of like, I guess that's like code level debugging as opposed to, so it's difficult obviously because JavaScript is such a loosely typed language that unless you're working in a subset of it, like a strict mode, or working under a package like TypeScript, that it's really hard for these editors to give you proper feedback on your code. But yeah, I mean, there's like turn plugins and stuff that would basically give you kind of like code completion and code inspection. But for debugging in browser side, everything's pretty much done in WebGL Inspector and Chrome DevTools. Really, you can do a phenomenal amount from there now. I've seen people sit down and almost like write an entire game inside the Chrome DevTools and then just save it out. Never mind even firing up an editor. So yeah, I would love to see some proper decent debugging tools aimed at games, because the browser debugging tools are still aimed at inspecting and profiling websites. And you can just log out to the console a few too many times and all of a sudden you kill your frame rate. And so they definitely need to look at how they can better serve game developers. But it's quite a small niche for them, I guess, isn't it? It's like, if you're working on the Chrome team or the WebKit team or whatever, then I guess game developers must be quite a tiny percentage of who you're really aiming your tools at. But even so, I would love to see them do more. Firefox actually has some of the best debugging tools. Their shader debugger, their web audio debugger is fantastic. So although a lot of people from stats that I see don't ever browse with Firefox anymore, lots of guys use it for development. So yeah, it's good.
We do have a lot of Flash developers in the chat. Do you have any advice for Flash developers looking to make the leap to HTML5 games? Use Phaser?
Okay, that's just too blatant. Use whatever you're happy with. If it's a lot of people, I guess, okay, so there's two sides of it. There's the developers that use Flash because they're familiar with the workflow, right? Yeah, so they love the fact they got their assets and animations and stuff. And, the AS3 was all just kind of like a side of it, really. It wasn't necessarily the main reason for using Flash. So those guys are probably best looking at kind of like replicating that workflow as easily as they can. So maybe so try and keep as much of it you can within Flash, get your sprite sheets out, and then just work with a library that can ingest that content easily. But then there are the other side, the Flash developers who kind of like loved the AS3 side of it and almost never even touched the IDE. The guys that kind of lived in Flash develop all day and would fire up the IDE once when they got some assets through from an artist. And those guys are the ones that find it much harder to move to JavaScript because suddenly everything just becomes all loosely typed and a mess everywhere. And they're just kind of like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? So those are the ones that I think struggle. And if they're kind of like conditioned into a certain mindset where they don't like, they can't handle the openness of JavaScript as a language, then don't use it. Use TypeScript or use hacks or something, and then just compile out to it. There are so many ways to avoid having to deal with JavaScript if you don't like it. But at the same time, it's just a bloody language. Don't be too religious about it.
Right. Well, and just for anyone who's just joining us, so we're talking to Rich Davey, also known as photonstorm, creator of Phaser. If you have any questions, be sure to ask in Twitch chat. Also, one thing we haven't mentioned in a while is that if you follow us, you can see here I will do push-ups. I've only got about 7. I think there's a couple others in there. You also get to see, although you guys have shifted around, someone will get humped in the head apparently by the little stick figure guy on each follow.
We definitely want to thank photonstorm_phaser, whoever that is, for following.
Yeah, whoever that was.
Who's our first follow of the day. So I'm just putting some links to Phaser resources in the chat, phaser.io, twitter.com/photonstorm. Anything else?
And also at the top we've got we try to make a cool graphic for you, Rich, so it's at the top here. That.
Yeah. Rich, you need to appreciate us a lot.
No, we're happy to have him. This is great. So.
All right, there's a Patreon too somewhere in here. But
oh yeah, so read that one.
Got that in chat.
He's front page, so you can just go to the front page. He's special like that. Cool.
So if anybody else has any other questions for Rich, definitely hit him up on Twitter. I think we're going to let him go. He's given us so much of his time.
Yeah, it's late for him too. We miscalculated the time a little bit. Damn time zones.
Summertime, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it in Europe?
It's fine. It's just 10 to 8. It's not that bad.
Oh, that's prime game dev time right there.
We're eating into the next iteration of Phaser, huh?
Yeah, that's when you have your
Blame us for when
10:30 p.m. coffee, and then you rewrite everything.
You build by 3 a.m. or you haven't done it right.
Cool. All right. Well, Rich, anything else from you or
I don't think so. I mean,
parting
I
words?
kind of...
You can pitch any of your stuff or ask any questions.
I hate pitching stuff. I'm English. I don't pitch stuff. No, you've got all the links. If you want to basically, it's just like basically if you want to find out what Phase is about, then by all means have a look at the site, look at the examples, play with it, download it. It's free. There are loads and loads of tutorials on how to use it. I post up like at least 1 or 2 tutorials every day at the moment, so there's masses of stuff. And it's probably one of the downsides. In fact, there's probably too much content. It's quite hard to sort it all out. But absolutely, try it. Don't expect it to be like Flash. It's not like Flash. Don't expect it to be like Flixel. It's not like Flixel. It was originally, but that was years ago. It's changed way beyond that now. Don't be scared of it. Basically, it's just JavaScript. It's just a language. There's a Phaser Slack channel if anyone wants to join that. It might be worth looking at, and the forum, of course. So yeah, just basically keep an eye on what we're doing. Keep an eye on the Phaser homepage. I update the news there every single day. So I usually post up 2 or 3 new articles a day, and there are like 60 articles in the queue at the moment. That's how busy it is. So
Wow.
there's lots of cool stuff coming out. And if you make something, show me because I like to promote it.
So go follow him on Twitter, guys.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, Rich. We really appreciate having you here.
Thanks a lot, Richard. And thanks for the follow. We'll make sure to do your push-up first.
Yeah, your push-up will be the first push-up I'll do.
Thank you.
All right. Cool. So, and just so you know, I will drop you from this call, but it might keep you on the list. So, if during the next call, if I call you, sorry. Or join us, whatever.
Middle of your next show. Yeah. No, cool. Right. Thank you very much. It's been really interesting. And it's just I don't know. It's I will always call you Flash Game License. But
that's all right. It's okay. It's nostalgic.
No, because it's like
retro.
KFC. We're FGL
nostalgic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We're retro.
Just, we actually had a contest a while back where we asked developers to make a game around FGL with the best acronyms possible. And I think we got a what was it? Frustrated generic lemmings.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it was kind of funny. People came up with some cool stuff. And I still get the question, what does FGL stand for? It's like nothing now. So
we stand for justice.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Rich.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
All right. So for everyone else, do not tune out. Hold on. Let me remove this guy. There we go.
People won't tune out until you do your push-ups. We've established.
So let's refresh for anyone who maybe wasn't around. So first, let's do the whole thing. I'm Chris Hughes, co-founder and CEO of FGL. FGL is a community and marketplace for game developers. We have helped tens of thousands of game developers make tens of millions of dollars. On the call with me, I have Brian, who's community manager, and Luke is with us now. He is our head of engineering.
Hello.
And we're here to answer any questions you have. We're going to do a quick tech demo, too, of like a really, really cool system that we have called Enhance. It basically can get like ads into an app, like a mobile app, with no coding whatsoever. There's also some cool other cool things that it does we'll go through. And before that, what we do on the show is I'll do push-ups at the end of the show for everyone who follows during the show. So I have a little counter here that you can see if I can get my finger right there. So we're at set. I think we're actually a couple more than that, but Brian's counting some off session push-ups. But we're at 7, so you guys make me do a lot more than that. I've done 60 before, so let's see if you guys can kill me. That's usually the most fun part. All right, so let's do some enhance. So I might have to hide you guys. Sorry.
Let's do some enhance. I've been feeling good. You won the enhanced speed trial last week. I've been
Oh yeah, I need to get my
I've been-
timer ready.
I've
So
been practicing.
I don't
I
know.
think I can.
Today
I've
might
yet
not
to
be
win the
day,
speed trial. So
okay, today might not be the day. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I was just saying, judging by the success so far.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're going to run through Enhance. So I explained a little bit, but basically what you do is you upload an app, you select the enhancements that you want, you click go, you get it back with everything in there. So you click, upload it. I want ads. Click go, you get it back with ads. It's really cool. So I'll go through the process. Let's see. I'm going to do Blob's Adventure just because that's fun to watch me play on the show. Ooh, although, yeah, we'll do that one. That's a good one. Um, I changed my mind. I'm going to do Luke's game. So Luke made a game for me to show off our interstitials, but he also made it to make me look dumb on camera. So, all right. So I'm on Enhance here. I want to make sure you guys can see this. So I'm on Enhance. This is my already enhanced app. So once you enhance an app, it puts it on, basically a dashboard for you to go back, and you can either re-enhance them, so you can put other enhancements if you want to try different things. You can, remove it. You can, and what I usually use it for is you can download it. So you can actually easily get to your app on your mobile device or on your computer. So I have already enhanced these. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select to re-enhance. I'm going to remove this one, remove you. I might not be logged in. It might make me log in here. No, it's there. Good. And I did some. Oh no, it's her. So I've got it. So I'm going to skip the process where I upload the game. But basically, what you do is you would just select your game from the file menu and upload it, and you have some selections like genre and subgenre. Those help us pick, like, if you want ads in the app, it helps us display the best performing ads. That's a big part of what we do. So I'm going to instead just go click re-enhance. So the only part I'm skipping here is the download process. Oh, I am not logged in. So that is the part you would see. So let me make sure. Can you guys see everything? I might need to move myself around. Hold on. Oh well. Okay. So what I've done here is I've got an app. I have uploaded it. I'm going to select the enhancement. So here I can go, okay, I want post-roll or not post-roll ads. Post-roll ads are a newer ad format. If you've not watched the show before, I'll explain a little bit. Basically, this is for Android only. And when you click a home button on your device, on your mobile device, it'll show an ad before exiting the app. So it's a really cool ad placement that usually adds value because you're not already using it. You don't have to change anything else to use it. And really, really large developers are using this now. So it's really widely adopted, and gamers are really okay with it because they've done all kinds of tests on this. So it's a really cool ad format. We suggest that you at least do this one because you have nothing to lose from it. Another one is interstitials. So interstitials is the one thing we have right now where you actually do have to do some coding, but it's very simple. It's like a line of code saying, call my ad. And it makes sense when you think about it because you're calling it whenever you want it to happen. So let's say it's at every game over, or whenever anyone clicks the menu screen, or whatever it is that you want to happen, where you want it to happen, you would just call a little line of code. So what we have is a connector library here. And you can see we actually I think, Luke, we support more than this now, right? Or we're just about to put that up.
Yeah, we also have support for Cordova and PhoneGap. That was added today. We also have support for OpenFL.
Okay, cool.
So those will be added
awesome.
very soon.
So those will be added. So we already support them. They're just not up on the site yet. So we have lots of options. We're adding more too. Like I mentioned, Phaser will be one we'll probably support. So basically you just pick whichever language it is that you're using, and you copy this and paste it wherever you want to call the ad into your game. So I've already done that in this particular app, so I won't have to go through that. Oh, did I have to go back? So I would just say I've implemented the connector library, so I'm good to go. You can also do Dolby, which basically enhances the sound of the app if it supports Dolby hardware. And then we have ACRA reporting. So this is just crash reporting. Right now, they're actually this will come to us. So if your app's crashing for any reason, we'll get the data, even if it's unrelated to Enhance. Eventually, though, the good thing to kind of leave this on for your own personal use is because we will have reporting in the future where basically you can get all your crash data, so you can log in and see all that. So that's kind of cool. So we're collecting the data. We just don't have the front end or the the reporting part that you would see yet. So we will have that. We're just tracking it for now to make sure there's no big bugs. I'll just turn it off for now. So then you have versioning. So this is basically something that's required from the marketplace, that when you submit an app, it needs to be incremented the version if it's a game that you're updating. So this should auto increment it, but you can mess with it if you need to. And then signing, which is a very important process where you basically need to put in your key store and key information. This is so that when you update your app, for example, in this case in Google Play, they can know that you are actually the owner of that app and have the permission to update it. So I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to do debug certificate because I'm just going to run it on my phone. I'm not updating it. This is not my app. In fact, that's the coolest part. I don't have access to this code or this app or anything. And so I should do a little bit of a note there that I did add the code for the interstitials, but other than that, I don't need access to the code. So if you weren't doing interstitials, you could do it, without any coding at all. All right, so this is the part where we time it. So I'll get my timer out here, and we will ask everyone how long they think it will take me to enhance this app.
All right.
So
Let me see here. My over-unders have not been close recently. So I'm going to put it...
I think I usually pick this. I'm going to do like a minute 20.
There we go. I'm going to go 144.
All right. That's a good
110.
guess.
I think
Anyone else?
it.
So in Twitch chat, go ahead and tell us, how long do you think this is going to take?
Okay, Lizard going with the 109 just to screw over Luke. I like that move. That's a strategic play.
Strategic choice there. And just a reminder for everyone is
Fiora puts
$1.
That is someone who has seen the show before. Fiora knows what's up.
So, anyone who's put like SDKs into an app knows it takes like hours, sometimes days to do. So we're here guessing in the minute ranges, which is really pretty cool to get all this into the app.
All right, we got some 130s.
Yeah, waiting some 130s. All right, I'm
130 is pretty solid. Nobody's taking my over. I set the over under 144. Nobody takes the over.
No one's going over. That's actually a good sign, I think. It's
last week, it was pretty split. Everyone's taking the under.
So last chance to try to get kind of semi-famous.
If you want to win the internet, you got to
Yeah.
type a time into the chat right now.
All right, so I'm gonna click go. So this is your last chance. All right, so I got to remember to click this and push start. Okay, hold on. Go. All right.
Meanwhile, people are trying to troubleshoot tech things in chat. We're like, screw that. We gotta time out. We gotta play enhanced speed run weekly.
Oh, you can't really see this one. Let me make my screen bigger here. That's probably part of the problem.
Replicant's going 29 seconds. YOLO. I like it. Follow bot has typed numbers. That's fair. Followbot shouldn't be eligible to guess though, because he's like R2D2. He can talk to the robots and know how long it's going to take.
All right, so we're at 36 seconds, so we're getting there. Oh, and by the way, I always say this. So you don't have to stay on this page, the one that's like saying running. You would normally.
Your camera's too big. We won't be able to see when it finishes because you always screw it up.
Oh, crud. Maybe I can do that. That'll work.
You just got to drag a corner down, yeah.
I'm going to really mess up now because I'm trying to do two things at once. All right, there we go.
I'm pretty impressed if I can do one thing at once.
But yeah, so you wouldn't need to stay on this page. You could just click out of it and then go back to your enhanced apps later, and it would be there. But I stick here so I can get the timing exactly right, or as close to right as I can. All right, we're getting close to our numbers here. Uh-oh, I think we're passing some people. Oh, there's me. Hurry. Oh, no, past me. I think Brian might be the one here. Was anyone over me over a minute 20? There was like a minute 30, wasn't there?
There were a bunch of minute 30s.
All right, we're at the minute 30 mark here. Uh-oh.
Luke, did you break everything?
I know, Luke. If you're joining us
I
earlier,
did say it was going to be bad.
We were talking about earlier today. Oh, there it is. Oh, I was late. I think it was like a minute 41.
We'll be able to check it on the stream instant replay.
Let's see where we're at.
Okay, so the server says a minute 39.
Oh, so we're going to listen to the server and not my reaction time.
Yeah, I got a minute 40 on the timer.
All right.
And I trust my boss over a robot. So I don't know about you.
That Luke is the one who implemented, by the way.
Booty Dev was the closest without going over at 141, I believe.
Awesome.
Congrats,
win.
Booty Dev. You won the internet. High five.
So yeah. So anyway, so you got to see it in action. Oh yeah, I gotta play it now. I guess that would be helpful. So I'll keep this big. All right. So this is the cool part I like about Enhance as well. There's a lot of cool parts. Is let me make sure I'm still logged in. I probably should have done this ahead of time. But you can see you can actually go to the website on your mobile device and access. Yep, I gotta log in and access all of your apps. So you don't have to worry about somehow transferring it from the computer. I always hate that part. I have the longest password in the world. Okay, and I typed
The weird thing is, it's just the number 5 over and over again.
Don't tell everyone.
Now you've got to
But
change
there's
it
a
to
lot
something
of them.
trickier, like 100 sixes.
Yeah, but there's a lot. Okay, here we are.
That
Okay.
makes it more secure, right?
So hold on, real quick, I'll move myself and then do this real quick. So if I go to my enhanced apps here on the screen, you can see, there's all the apps that I've enhanced, and then I'll go here, and you can see it's the exact same page. If there we go. You guys are gonna get some fun here. So yeah, you know what? Did I go ahead and do Blob's Adventure? I was saying I was going to do the enhanced sample, and I think I clicked Blob's Adventure, but that's okay, right? Is that what I did?
I don't know.
No one was watching. Everyone on the thing wasn't even watching.
I was
Yeah.
too busy getting my bets.
Yeah, you did Blob's Adventure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll play that one. I meant to do the other one. So
You're getting better at Blob's Adventure. So
yeah. So though, I did say it had interstitials. That's an interesting thing. We'll test. Will that break it, Luke? Because it does not have interstitials in it.
It won't break it, but you won't
Okay.
see any interstitials.
Cool. Okay. Well, that'll show off that we won't break your game even if you make a mistake apparently. Okay. So, but what's cool about this is so I can just download it right here. In fact, what's cool is it tells me there's no interstitial, so it must have detected that. That's really cool. Our system's even cooler than I think. So I'm going to download it and play it, and you'll see. So basically, I was going to put his post roll into it because I picked post roll and interstitial. Interstitial wasn't implemented, so it detected that and didn't do it. And it will do the post roll. And if it breaks, we'll all blame Luke. He'll have something to fix. So I'm downloading it. I am going to make sure. Let's see. Yeah, that should be good. I also have speed dotting on here. I'm going to take that off. And if you have any questions about this, be sure in Twitch to let us know as I'm going through this. But this is the fun part of the show where I try to play a game through my camera, which
you can try all this game dev tech out for yourself over at fgl.com/EnhanceLive. It's completely free. Go over there, click that, do it.
Yeah, it's totally worth at least if you have an app, just running it through the process, seeing how it goes, seeing if you're happy with it. We've found that when someone enhances an app, they usually enhance all their apps, so that's how happy they are with it. Okay, so I'm installed here. So definitely try it out. Like I said, I mean, if anything, the post roll is worth trying out because that takes no effort. You just you enhance it, you put it up on the App Store, and you're good to go. Although we do recommend if you want like the full benefit is to use interstitials and everything. And in fact, so one thing I haven't explained is what we do with ads is we have a really complex waterfall. So when I put ads in the app, I'm not just putting one ad system. I'm putting in like up to like a dozen ad networks. So all these ad networks are being mediated so that we can call the best ads for your app, and we're tracking it and making sure the best ones are showing. So it's not even just the easiness of the tech. It's also that we're actually making sure that these are really well performing ads. Okay. So here is the app. So this is one that uses the accelerometer, so it's especially crazy for me. But this is a Turbo Nuke game. It's fun. It won't look fun when me playing it because I'm bad at this, but and usually I'm not bad at it. It's just because that it's on the
Sure.
Okay, so I should explain. So when I'm looking, I think it might is it just loading, but usually what I'm playing it is I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, it's going. Is I'm looking at the screen through not directly at the tablet, so everything's backwards for one, and for two it's a delay. Oh gosh, So, oh look, stay on, stay. Oh, come down. Oh no, they got a glare. Okay, I've already failed at this. Okay, there I go.
So much tilt control.
Hold on. Okay, I got some stars. Get that one. Get that star. All right. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. So now we'll get to the good part. Okay. So when I exit this game, we should see an ad because that's what I put in, or the post-issue ads. So let me get this high enough. Let me click go. And there's an ad. See? So there were previously no ads in this game. The post-roll ads in particular are hard to put in if you were to do it manually. And I got it in there in what, a minute? Was a minute 40 something seconds?
41, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's how
Under
quick it
2
was.
minutes.
So yeah, so if you have apps yourself, send them, and I can do it live on the show or do it yourself, and please let me know what you think of it. I also want to say that I don't have to do many push-ups so far. So if you want to follow and make me do push-ups, you can see it right here, right there.
Or if you've got any ideas to make Chris do bonus push-ups, definitely.
No, we don't need bonus push-ups. I think I was thinking today, if it could be an easy day, would be nice. So it won't hurt my feelings, but I do want you to follow. So there you go, right there. 7. That's it. That's easy. I think that might be the least I've ever done. That'd be simple.
And we do appreciate everybody who's already followed the channel and you're tuning in week after week. We really appreciate you checking out the show. We're trying to keep it fun for you guys and coming up with ways for you to re-up with push-ups.
Added bonus to anyone who follows, you get to hump my head because I'm putting myself right where that guy is. I can't believe we did. I can't believe we did that to Rich. Like I didn't even think about that, and I look over and just sitting there pumping away on his noggin. So you get the added bonus if you follow.
He was too polite to complain about it.
He's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate."
It is one of the funny things that I've noticed with the English developers and stuff. Whenever I ask them, what projects are you working on? What do you want to promote? What are your links? They're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, like,
they do not want to self-promote at all.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, if you caught the interview, go check out photonstorm on Twitter. He's incredibly active, at least on his front page with game dev articles and stuff. And while you're there, twitter.com/FGL_team is going to be your ticket to happiness. I'll link that in the chat below. FGL.
Oh, and I turned you guys off. So
yeah,
deal with it. You'll get your limelight next.
Hey, if we're not on camera, we don't have to do push-ups. So,
are we guys do push-ups? Well, it's 7 push-ups. This is a lame day to do push-ups.
I'll do the pull-ups. If it's,
all right. So So Luke can do pull-ups. 7 pull-ups is actually pretty respectable.
I could not do 7 pull-ups.
Yeah. So let me here. I'll turn you on. I was trying to leave it. No one's gonna really. You can't find one follower to hump me. That's all right. That what? My luck. That sounded horrible. But my luck is. It would be what Twitch picks as like the picture, like watch, FGL, and it's me getting humped. Like, no. All right. Anyway, okay,
right.
so I'll bring you guys in.
Let's see some stretches.
All right, let me bring you into this call. Hold on.
I'll cue up your theme music.
So if you guys are here though, why can't I move you around? I can't move. There you go. Hold on. Let me see if I can make us a little bigger here. So, Brian? Are you gonna do push-ups or are you watching?
I could do jumping jacks if we're all doing
jumping jacks.
All right.
So here, let's see.
This up real good.
Hold on. Oh, this will work. Okay, so I'm gonna get stretched. Get ready. This is what everyone's waiting for. Anyone who if you knew of anyone who left who wanted to see push-ups, now's the time to tell them. But it's right, anticlimactic
Chat,
today.
if you're matching us on push-ups.
I think we should double them.
All right, let's double them because it's not. Are you gonna double the pull-ups?
Yeah.
Wow. I always push my camera down and I realize I'm in like a crotch shot mode here.
Yippee!
Oh no, we got a follower. Let me see, where's it? Ah! No! We just got one extra one.
Wow, the music is getting us pumped.
Yeah. Alright. This is such a strange show at this time.
It is.
Like this, I wonder. All right, so we all good to go. All right, everyone. Okay, get ready. So what are we doing? We doubling it? We're doing 16.
Yeah. Okay. 16. Yep.
You're doing 16 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll try.
All right. Get ready. I'm about to go.
Okay.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
take my head off.
Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you guys to count. Oh, I lost track. 6, 7, 8. I can't count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19. I did 20 just to be safe. But I want you guys to count Luke because I don't trust him. Oh my god, look at him. He's doing the finger pull-ups too. I don't know what Brian's doing, but it's embarrassing. Alright. Okay, well, let's move this back up now. I guess you don't want to see that much more. So did you do it, Luke? I
did, yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed. I don't know that I could hang from that thing, much less do a pull-up. It's like
Oh,
the
they're
finger.
proper. There's like jugs on top.
Oh,
not
it's like
just
a bar?
finger ones.
Oh, okay. Well, that's... Although...
Were his feet on the ground the entire time?
Oh, move the chair out of the way now from underneath. Woo, that's impressive. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well,
All right.
be sure
We had
everyone. Thanks for. Go ahead, Brian. You're gonna do the.
We had a question from Funky Lizard asking
Oh.
when the interview with the Game Jam winner is going to be up. We're actually going to have him live on the show.
Oh, cool.
So, wow, Chris, you weren't kidding. You get a little out of breath after that, huh?
I did push-ups.
Uh,
All right. So yeah. So thanks everybody. Appreciate
did
you
the
watching
show
the
just
show.
go off? Fine?
Yeah, it
Oh,
stopped for me.
darn it. Oh, that was easy. Oh yeah, it's saying reconnecting.
Did you know only 1% of supplements have earned the USP mark? An independent certification for quality
Okay,
and
no.
purity. I recommend Nature Made because they've earned the most of any brand.
What was that?
Post-roll Twitch ad.
So,
Yeah. So we're still streaming apparently, according to this. So.
I don't. We could do the Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you. Just start
Wait,
chugging brandy.
Did you guys?
It's like, I don't believe you.
Did you see the push-ups? It happened. I promise.
Yeah, they saw the push-ups.
Okay, good.
Oh. There we go.
Zangy starts jumping jacks. Luke is lifting all 40 pounds of himself like a boss.
Okay.
Thanks,
I'm not gonna do them again.
So, we did have an extra follow.
No, we counted that. Yeah, thanks.
Zixasa?
Yeah, we fit you into the workout. Thank you for following.
Yeah, thanks for you followed right on time, Zikasa. Mi casa es Zikasa. Funky was just like we saw it. I mean, we didn't see it. We didn't.
They were all. I think Brian detracted from everything. I don't think anyone saw
Brian was
push-ups.
dancing.
I don't know why he was doing some kind of kung fu.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, you saw the shirt I'm rocking today.
Yeah.
It's the. I was doing the dance of my people.
Oh my god.
No, it was supposed to be jumping jacks. I live in New York, so the space that I have to operate is like
not conducive to
this.
jumping jacks.
This room is my apartment, actually. So.
All right, cool. Well, I think unless I don't see any other questions, so thanks everybody. It was fun having Rich on. So you said Brian, we're gonna have someone on next time.
Yeah, we might. We're definitely going to have the Game Jam winner on. I don't know if he's going to be on next week, but
We'll keep y'all posted. But if you have any other questions or things you want to talk about, be sure to save it up for next week. Be sure to try out Enhance. FGL.com/EnhanceLive is the best link to get there. And let me know what you think of it, because I really do like to hear that. So thanks everybody. Was a pretty light day for push-ups, so that's nice. I was thinking with the interview with Rich, we'd have a lot, but
what was your question, Funky Lizard, about the
there's another
interview?
question.
Oh, is the video still up? Or people? It's buffering for me.
It's still up for me.
It's up, yeah, I can see.
Funky, I think we answered your question. We're definitely going to have the Game Jam winner on. We just need to work out a good time. So.
Yeah, sorry if you missed that. It might have been when we lost for a little bit. All right, cool.
But for now, I think we're going to toss you all over to Latch and Friends. Definitely give Latch our love from FGL and EnhanceLive. So,
Make we should start pushing that. He needs to do push-ups too.
yeah. We got to find something. Push-ups or subs. So,
All right, yeah. Hopefully you do. Enhance with JS. Yeah, totally. That'd be cool. I'm looking at Corpse's comment there.
very cool.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We'll catch you next time, and
Stick around for
we'll push you
Latch
over
and Friends.
if I can host correctly here.
He always gets the wrong slash. He's going to start putting dollar
Every
sign.
time you'd think eventually I would get it right. Okay. So thanks everybody, and you'll probably be pushed over right now. So
Go over and join his chat, too.
I did it. Euro.
We did it.
Hold on. Let me
We're the best.
stream us here.